Go on then, Chris.
Who's going first?
You can go.
What's new in the world of strength conditioning? From what I've been involved as I'm a physio by profession, but also a sports scientist. So I guess I wear both hats. But I've been in terms of S&C coach since the early 90s. And what's changed between then and now is the guys still train hard. They did back in the 90s. They still do now. It's probably more the gadgets we use. GPS, salivary testing. The Omega waves, all the circadian rhythms, all the heart rate variability, all those newfangled terms which didn't exist even 5 years ago and now are more commonplace. And I guess all the different clubs are looking for, that professional edge. And again, not to keep talking about the Australian system, but I guess AFL in Australia drive that culture, where the Australian AFL teams, because it's so heavily well funded, and it's such a massive sport in Australia, they look for those 1%ers. So it's not uncommon for an AFL club to have its own performance department medical centre, which has hypobaric chambers, hypoxic chambers, all those new gadgets, which are very expensive to a rugby team, but for an AFL club it's cheaper. But that's starting to migrate now into rugby, because we're looking at what those clubs are doing and say, well, what can we use which is beneficial to us?
Yeah, absolutely.
So from my point, it's the biggest change has been one, the S&C coaches are more knowledgeable now than what they were 15 years ago. So it's not training the old school way, it's more about training smarter, not harder. But also it's the gadgets which we have access to. For us, nutrition and supplementation is important, number one, for recovery. Also between sessions, if you're training 4 times a week and sometimes twice a day in terms of gym, and also a 1 hour scrummaging session, then followed by an hour on the field in terms of defence session. So they can sometimes be covering 3 sessions a day. So we're lucky in that we have meals provided for the players here, and we get to at least control 2 of their meals a day, which will be sort of mid-morning, mid-afternoon type meals. And in between that, we obviously have our recovery protein shakes and all the supplements involved in the program, the supplements program.
Like you mentioned, sort of pre-season now, we run a 6-day a week. Now we might have some half days in there, but generally we're going multiple sessions, and sometimes to be time efficient you've got a quick turnaround and you can't always get a meal in, and that's where the shakes come in, the recovery shakes are massively important for us. And also on match day we have energy gels, and really players rely on some of those just to get them up and get them through. But it's underpinned by just real nutrition as well. It's supplementation is a supplement. It's definitely, I think, more an emphasis now on strength. I don't think there's previously been much of a massive emphasis in rugby league on strength. But since that underpins the power and we're looking for more powerful athletes all the time, I think we try and invest as much time on that. And we look at, I think we pretty much go for a pretty holistic approach to training as well, because we're training that hard now in pre-seasons that we spend a lot of time on recovery, on rehabilitation, on supplementation with a nutritionist, with Kinetica. So I think it's a similar focus in season